The show can't start until we crack open a bottle of Revelton. Whether it's their crisp, clean vodka, the bold spice of their rye whiskey, the rich smoothness of bourbon, or the original honey whiskey that started it all, every pour is a taste of craft and passion straight from the heart of Iowa. So pour yourself a drink, settle in, and get ready to relax, laugh, and enjoy the show.
Hey, it's Andrew Downs. I'm proud to support Three Beards Media, and I would love to work with you. If you need merchandise for your company, organization, band, softball team, whatever, I can help. From name brand apparel to promotional items, large orders or small, online stores, and more, I can help your brand stand out. AKC Marketing is local, based in Johnston, and we are an employee-owned business, so our costs are low and our turnaround times are fast. But most importantly, we give you personal service to make sure you get exactly what you're looking for. Email me at andrew@akcmarketing.com or find me on social media, and let's make some cool stuff together. Now sit back and enjoy this Three Beards Media podcast.
From the top of Kid and Killer roar so loud, black and gold waving, we're a fearless crowd. Under them lights, the fight burns bright, greatest team assembled, ready for the fight. We stand tall, we stand true. Every game, every play, got the Hawkeye view. Legends rise, and we all knew that the black and gold's coming straight for you. From a Hawkeye view, see the whole state rise. With a heart so strong and fire in our eyes. On the field, on the court, in the stands, we shine. The best in the game, and the state is mine. Carver-Hawkeyes, marking, watch them break that press. Dropping dimes, hitting threes, never second guess. Full court hustle, hear the sneak aside. With the fight in our veins, we red at pride. We stand tall, we stand true. Every game, every play, got the Hawkeye view. Legends rise, and we all knew that the black and gold's coming straight for you. From a Hawkeye view, see the whole state rise.
All right, good evening. Another edition of Hawk's Eye View. Andrew Barber, AJ Hawxsby, Defina with you. And we're back now that we know where everybody's playing in time for March Madness. And great event on Saturday. Thank you again to Jay, CD, and Hobby and Ankeny for having us out, letting us do our thing in your store. Really appreciate it, and appreciate anybody who's new listening to this podcast tonight as a result of that. Thank you for taking the time to spend a little bit of your Wednesday night with us before the madness starts on Thursday morning. How are you doing tonight, AJ?
Doing well. March is here. March Madness is here, and I got my bracket up behind me, ready to go, and looking good. I'm excited. I'm excited to do this. Nervous, but excited to see the Hawks, both women's and men, get out there and do their thing.
Yeah. On that note, the women are going to play this Saturday in Carver against Fairleigh Dickinson, March 21st. That's the Saturday, 4 p.m. tip-off time. So we really lucked out as Hawk fans with the men and the women not overlapping. And we're doing well here in this
Friday after work as well. Friday after work.
Yeah.
Crack a beer and watch the game. You don't have to sneakily do that during work. Not that anyone's doing that, but
right. No one's doing that. No one would ever think about that. Or no one would ever just take PTO every year for March Madness.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah.
I've been watching March Madness the first 2 days since school, though. I would skip school.
Well, our teachers sometimes would allow us to have it on. I mean, because at least in the afternoon, or if they, like Iowa was playing or something like that, I feel like that would be a thing that would happen. But I mean, I in third grade, I had a teacher that loved Iowa so much. Miss Hoover was her name, and at Holy Trinity, and she actually brought a TV in and had the game on for us in third grade. That's how big of an Iowa fan she was. So,
sweet.
yeah.
Yeah. it wasn't Iowa around our school. When I was coming up, Kyle Korver was playing for the Creighton Blue Jays.
Yeah.
And we had to watch the Creighton Blue Jays play in March Madness in their first round escapades. They had like a 3 overtime game with like Florida one year or something.
That's awesome.
And yeah, basically every class that we went to had it on. So we were just watching Creighton versus Florida for like
awesome.
every class. But, as I got older, my mom would write me notes to get out of school, pretend I'm sick,
awesome.
things like that.
That's great. Thanks, Mama Barber.
Yeah, she was all on board with the strategy. She might be listening to this podcast. Maybe she'll fess up to it. I don't know. But she 100% was on board with me watching basketball instead of going to school. And that probably 100% explains why I am the way I am. So, all right. Well, yeah, like I mentioned, the women get Fairleigh Dickinson 30-win ball club. I will admit, I told you to do some research. I did not do a lot of research myself on Fairleigh Dickinson.
Yeah.
What I do know is that based off Basketball Reference's simple rating system, they assign a numerical value to kind of tell you the strength of every team that you would face. Fairleigh Dickinson is a negative 1.09. The last time Iowa played a team that was negative, it was Drake, who was a negative 3.90, and that was a 100-58 win for the Iowa Hawkeyes. So, all due respect to Fairleigh Dickinson, you don't have a lot of giant killers in women's basketball like you do in the men's tournament. So I don't want to be disrespectful to a team that's won 30 games. They've had a great season. I don't think there's really a path here to them. They can maybe keep it close for a while, I think.
Yeah, just so you get the spread and all, 31.5 point spread is where they're at right now. It actually opened at 21.5, which is odd to me. I don't know how that happened. But 31.5 point spread. So the odds makers say this one shouldn't be close, which is kind of anticipated in that 2-15 matchup. I don't know that that's ever happened. I don't think in women's basketball. I don't believe they've had upsets in 15 or 16 seeds. I don't think.
I think it's happened once.
Okay.
I think it's happened once.
Yeah.
On each level, on the 15 and the 16 level.
Okay.
But it is so rare.
Yeah.
They're
I was going to say they're two Big Ten opponents they did play this year. Purdue, they lost by 19, very first game of the season, and then Rutgers, they lost by 10. So those are the two Big Ten opponents, and then Notre Dame, they got blown out by 36. And Notre Dame, I believe, is a 10 seed, maybe an 11 seed. On the lower end there, but I know they have some scorers, but so not a whole lot of games to kind of compare, but shouldn't be much of a challenge there in that first round for Iowa. That's certain.
And if it is, it's emblematic of a bigger issue for Iowa for sure. They have one player over 6 feet tall in their like deep rotation. But mainly everybody that they play is 6 foot and under, a lot of 5'11", 5'6", 5'9", right? So just, you got to think that Hayden and Stolke are probably going to just have a heyday in round one.
Yeah.
And maybe Layla Hayes can get a little something rolling, or Journey Houston, kind of those backup bigs for Iowa too. We'll have a nice day, I would assume.
Gain some more confidence, especially for Journey. She's had a really nice run in the last, I'd say 6 games probably. Coming off the bench, doing a good job for us. But it looks like they have their top scorers, 3 guards, all averaging 12, 12, and 11. So, yeah, they don't have a whole lot of bigs down below. Looks like they're less productive, about 6 rebounds a game each, 7 points, 7 points. So, yeah, it should be a pretty solid first round game for everybody in attendance at Carver-Hawkeye. I'm sure it'll be jam packed to the gills, if I had to guess.
Yeah. And I think it will be this whole weekend at least for the Iowa games. It's going to be jam packed. I'm anticipating 2 games. Again, no disrespect to Fairleigh Dickinson. I think Iowa's going to win. I think everybody expects Iowa's going to win. So the real question is, who is Iowa going to play? There is a play-in game going on in this region because the 10 seed who has to play Georgia. I think it's Arizona State versus, oh gosh,
I can't remember who they're playing. I just saw an article come out that Arizona State's coach did not make the travel because she is under the weather. I don't know if that's true, but from what I read on Twitter, and Gronk did say that it is true that she is under the weather and did not make the trip, but is planning on coming tomorrow.
So, all right. Well,
a coachless Arizona State team. I don't know who they play.
Interesting, to say the least. Coachless Arizona State has to play Virginia.
Okay.
So I really don't know who's going to win that one, but there will be a play-in game in Carver-Hawkeye Arena for the women's side of things. Who knows how many fans will be there for that, but yeah. I fully anticipate that Iowa's second-round opponent is going to be Georgia. We've seen this Georgia team play Iowa before in the second round and give us really about all we can handle. They're 22-9. They finished 6th in the SEC. Katie Abramson Henderson is the coach there. I think they have some decent quality wins. I mean, obviously, to be in this spot, you have to have some decent wins. They beat a ranked Mississippi team, 82-59. They went wire to wire and beat a pretty decent Kentucky team on the road. So this isn't really a team that you want to mess around with, and it's going to be a pretty difficult matchup on kind of a short rest. But what do you see in this matchup that we're anticipating with Iowa and Georgia, AJ?
Yeah, I mean, so is it Carnegie is the last name, I believe, Danny Carnegie?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she's averaging 18 points. I obviously haven't watched a whole lot of Georgia Lady Bulldogs basketball. But when I watch SEC women's basketball, I just see quickness, athleticism, and then you have your tall forward down below. No one on their team is averaging over 6 rebounds, so it tells me maybe they are, not undersized by any means, but they do kind of share the wealth when it comes to rebounds. There's not someone that's just kind of hovering over like a Betts from UCLA or something like that. Let me see. Maya Wolfwork, 6'3". So she looks like she is she's their top leading rebound getter. But yeah, I mean, that's what I would be concerned about is athleticism. But I think our girls can match that. We've seen it all year, against athletic talent in the rosters that the Big Ten presents. I think our main issue when we look back at the season is those big forwards who can match up pretty easily with Hayden and Stolke, and then we kind of just get dominated down low. So I think this is going to be a good test, especially in almost a back-to-back, right? In 2 days we play again. So just a good test, and you get to play that game at home. So not really super concerned about the women's side, but it does pose an interesting question. Are we ready? Are we good enough to get to the Sweet 16 and make a little bit of a run?
Yeah, I think so. One other thing that I'll point out about Georgia is they do like to press.
Okay.
They do enjoy playing a little bit of a full court press style. I don't know if they're going to play that all game, but they will be up in your face, tough, physical, aggressive, and really make you fight and scrap and claw for everything you got. So while I do think we'll have definitely a little bit of an advantage inside, where you've had some trouble this year with the press and navigating the press. And we had some trouble last year with that too. I think we've been a little bit better this year. And I think having Stremlo in the lineup has helped with that tremendously. But still, at times, we've seen this Iowa team turn the ball over a few too many times, and it keep opponents in games when they really shouldn't be. So that makes me nervous. Also, I've heard on the radio circuit where Caitlin Clark and others have said that the round of 32 more difficult than playing in like the Sweet 16, because you're playing on that short turnaround against a team that you've kind of lightly scouted, and a team that's hungry and wanting to get to the Sweet 16 themselves.
Yeah.
Whereas you get to the Sweet 16, you get another week to prepare.
Yeah.
And scout and rest and be ready to go. So it's those games off those short turnarounds, the round of 32, the Elite Eights, difficult games. That's where talent and coaching and all that has to kind of carry its weight. So I'm not going to pick Iowa to lose this game, AJ. I am going to stick with my faith that we're going to pull it out and win, but I want to warn people it may not be a breeze in the second round.
Yeah. And I guess when I look at the home court advantage, it does bring a little bit of added pressure too, probably, right? So it's like I look at it as, okay, you got that home court advantage, but there's also probably a little bit of pressure, especially if you get down early a little bit. That press is harder to stop or to get, break than you thought. It definitely could pose an issue. I'd be real interested to see what that line would look like when it came out, but obviously they don't have them out yet, but like predicted or futures. But I'd be real interested to see what that looks like, because this team is a team that's played teams all through the SEC, played them strong, beaten them. Vanderbilt, they won at home against Vanderbilt.
Yeah, it's a juicy.
Yeah, like you're saying, at Kentucky, home against Ole Miss. They're battle tested. There's no doubt about that. So, looks like they lost their first SEC tournament game though to Kentucky. So, quite interesting. But it'll be a good test for us. I mean, if we want to make it to the Elite Eight, Final Four, go on a run to the championship, you got to beat these type of teams, and so it'll be a really good test.
Yeah, and I'm not. I don't want to get too far out ahead of ourselves. I think we can come on next week and talk about both teams and where they stand, and hopefully we're previewing games for both teams.
Yeah.
But not just talking about how the season ended. But yeah, we'll see. So how are you leaning? I guess I've already said I'm predicting Iowa to win. How are you leaning in this one?
Yeah, I mean, again, I haven't watched much Georgia basketball, but I'll go with the closer game than I think most Hawkeye fans would be comfortable with. But yeah, I mean, you come out of that Very rarely, I wouldn't say rarely, I guess, at least in the last few years of women's basketball, there's been some upsets in those 3-4 games. I don't know how many have really happened to the 2 seeds really this early, but I do feel confident with this team. I think we've said it all year. Elite 8 is where we need to be, at least with the cherry on top right there. That would be great. Now that we know this team is capable of. So I got Iowa going. Let's just say a 6-point win. I like a 6-point win there.
All right. I like Iowa pulling away a little bit late and grabbing like a 10-point win. Do think we have a little bit of a scare, but we maybe make our free throws, just make a few more shots and plays down the stretch to kind of win by double digits. I don't think it's like a blowout scenario. I think it's more of a games within 2 possessions, and we just extend it to 3 or 4 possessions by the end and call it good. So ultimately think Hayden is going to be a huge factor in this ball game. And well, that goes without saying for the whole NCAA tournament. I think this is really going to be her time because she's ascended over the second half of the year, and this is when she's going to finally be kind of on that national stage.
Yep.
And people outside of the Big Ten are going to learn about Ava Hayden.
That's what I was just like, everybody in the Big Ten knows who she is. Every Iowa fan obviously knows who she is, but yeah, she's sprung onto the stage. I think if there's one person you're most excited to get back on that court next year, once this season ends, it's her. Like, how is she ascend even more? Because it's been a phenomenal season out of her. And not that I don't think people expected that, but they didn't expect this type of production. And yeah, she's really done it all this year. So
yeah. Yeah, I don't think people expected this kind of year from her, but here we are. She's dominating earlier than we expected, and I think that's just an overall theme of the team is being a lot better than expected in multiple different ways. So I'm just curious to see who those other people are that are going to step up for Iowa, kind of like what we talked about on Saturday.
Yeah.
Stremlow, Addie Deal, Journey Houston. This is your moment too to kind of step up and help carry the team, and when maybe some of the other bigger stars are struggling for Iowa, if that does come to fruition. So
yeah,
but I have no doubt that this team will be ready and raring to go. So all right, anything else about the women's team and this opening kind of quad?
Gotta get her done. Gotta get her done. Gotta get through this first weekend. That's main goal number one. I mean, you make it to the Sweet 16. I'm not okay with losing there, but I would like to at least get there. You got to get through that first weekend at home. That's important. So for the program itself.
Yeah, and if we get to the Sweet 16, I'm anticipating that there we will face a TCU squad who has Olivia Miles, who was at Notre Dame and running with Hannah Hidalgo. But Olivia Miles has put up triple doubles. Like, she's a special, talented player. That is not going to be an easy one, obviously. So if we get, hopefully we're talking about that next week and we can kind of unpack TCU. They're a lot more than just Olivia Miles too, by the way. They're a great team. But yeah, hopefully we can talk Iowa TCU because I think that's going to be a great matchup if it comes to that. All right. With that said, I think we're just going to take a little bit of a break and then we'll come back and we'll preview the men's side and then we'll get out of here tonight.
Right here in Iowa, we don't mess around when it comes to food. Creasman Foods is raising the bar on frozen pizza. Bold sauce, loaded toppings, and crust that actually holds up when you grab that second slice. This isn't just another box in the freezer aisle. This is Iowa-made pizza, built on real food service experience and brought straight to your local grocery store. You can find Creasman Foods at Hy-Vee, Fairway, and other local retailers across the state. And if you don't see it, ask for it by name. Because if you're already buying frozen pizza, you might as well buy one that brings serious flavor to the table. Creasman Foods, Iowa made. Big flavor, no shortcuts. In the heart of Des Moines, one name has stood above the rest. Iowa Beef Steakhouse. Step inside and you enter a place where tradition still matters, where the atmosphere feels familiar, warm, and unmistakably Iowa. Service isn't rushed. It's personal, attentive, and rooted in genuine care. And before the main event, the freshest start in the city, our signature salad bar, crafted every single day. Then comes the reason people have returned for generations. Iowa beef, hand-seasoned with pride. Guided by flame, forged by heat. This is where flavor becomes legend. Served with the same care it was crafted with. A meal meant to be remembered. And whether the night calls for bold, smooth, or something in between, our bar offers a selection as rich as our history, including the old-fashioned we've become known for. Balanced, timeless, unforgettable. And long after the fire cools, the glow of this place stays with you. Iowa Beef Steakhouse, 1201 East Euclid Avenue, Des Moines, Iowa. Where Iowa comes for steak, done right.
Whether you're buying, selling, or refinancing your home, or if it's simply time to renovate the one you're already living in, you need an experienced mortgage professional to help you analyze your financing options and to make sure the closing goes smoothly. And that's exactly what you get when you call Kyle Lehman at Wintrust Mortgage. Kyle's experience and expertise, coupled with Wintrust's rates and programs, ensures you'll get the mortgage that's right for you. You may even qualify for down payment assistance. Before you reach out to a realtor, call Kyle and get pre-qualified, empowering you to start shopping for the home of your dreams. Call Kyle at 515-473-0546. Kyle Lehman, Wintrust Mortgage, 515-473-0546.
When you walk into Coach's Kolaches, you might be a little overwhelmed by all the great choices, but do not be overwhelmed by how to say it.
What's a cola, AJ?
Oh, cola cheese? Kolache?
Kalashis?
Kalashi?
Like the shoes? No, that can't be right.
It's kolache, but it don't matter what you call it, as long as you call it good.
Start your morning the Coach's Kolaches way. Every single batch is made fresh at sunrise by Coach himself. You can taste the care in every bite. Craving something savory? Go with that branded Texas flavor. Warm, hearty, and packed with down-home goodness. Or maybe you're craving the sweeter life. Then you've got to try the fruit-filled kolaches or those soft, fresh cinnamon rolls that practically melt in your mouth. Got that game day fever? We got just what you need at that tailgate.
How's it going, man?
Good.
Tailgating this weekend.
Yeah, what can I get
Big
you?
one. Give me a dozen jalapeno sausages and 6 each of the sausage and bacon.
And listen, we all know how good these are, so you better get more than you think. So run, don't walk to Coach's Kolaches, 2777 100th Street in Urbandale, or call ahead for big orders at 515-802-6200.
All right, and now that I'm sufficiently hungry,
Oh my gosh.
I would need some frozen pizza. I need some Coach's Kolaches. I need some Iowa Beef Steakhouse. We might just be the hungriest podcast of all time. I don't know, with all the commercials that we have. But Iowa men's basketball is hungry for their first Sweet 16 since 1999. We can talk about if that'll happen or not here on this podcast. But it's got to start somewhere. And it starts on Friday night, like we mentioned, 5:50 Central Time,
Yes.
I think,
Yep.
approximately. It depends. I think we're the first game of the night
of that session. Yep.
Of that session, so it is going to start on time.
Yep.
Thankfully. But yeah, we're playing Clemson. And AJ, what do you know about the Clemson Tigers, the Clemson men's basketball team?
Yeah, I mean, I got to watch them in the ACC tournament. A couple games, I guess. The North Carolina game is the one that stuck out to me. They looked really good. I mean, they led the whole game. Obviously, the score 80-79, I think is what it was. Let me look it up. But, I mean, it wasn't that close, in my opinion. They kind of handled North Carolina. But they did lose their star forward. And let me get his name. Is it Welling?
Carter Welling, yeah.
Carter Welling, yeah.
He tore his ACL during that win over North Carolina.
Was it North Carolina or Wake Forest? I couldn't remember which one.
Yeah, I think he played against North Carolina.
Okay.
He is.
Yeah.
Well, I guess he didn't play against North Carolina. I guess he did it against Wake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're capable to play without him. So that, I mean, it's big. Either way, it's big. It's still a big that is not on your team anymore. But I mean, they were capable. That team did look good. Godfrey looks good, and I want to say he transferred from somewhere, but not necessary, I guess, to really bring it up too much. But yeah, he was pretty solid. Let me see here. He played. Oh yeah, that's right. He did play at Clemson prior. That's right. I looked this up because when I was watching that game, I was wondering where I've seen him play before. He played at Clemson in 23, 24, went 25 to Georgia, and then he came back to Clemson. Odd story for him, I guess, to do that. But anyways, he's their star player. He looks all the part. Top player for an ACC team. But they're very beatable. From what I understand and what I've been reading up on, they also run a very slow tempo. They're one of the more slow tempo teams in the ACC. I think the over under is 129.5. So
yeah,
we might get somewhat of a snooze fest per se. It won't be as offensive as I like, of course, but I think we're gonna have to challenge I guess I would say Koch and Fulgaris. We're gonna have to challenge those two. I mean, the biggest games that they played in. I mean, Fulgaris was in the tourney last year with Robert Morris, right? So
yeah.
I mean, he has the experience there. I'm not really too concerned, but we do need him to step up. So
yeah, I remember that because he played for Robert Morris.
Yep.
And they kind of pushed Alabama to the brink.
It was a very close game, yeah.
And he was a big part of that. So
yeah, let me see that. I'll look up that box score.
Yeah. The only one who doesn't have NCAA tournament experience is Cooper Koch.
Yep.
Because all the other guys are Drake guys who played in the NCAA tournament last year when Drake beat Missouri, namely Bennett Sturts. But yeah, Carter Welling being out is a pretty big deal. I think sometimes like the game after something like that happens, guys rise kind of in that moment.
Yeah.
And then after it settles in and the reality of it kind of sets in, things don't go so well.
Yeah.
I
agree with that.
They played Duke and they lost by 12. I'm not sure it was that close when they played Duke. And namely, they didn't shoot the ball as well as they did against North Carolina. North Carolina was dealing with some injuries too, but that's kind of the big story to me. Is like, yeah, they play a slow pace. I like Godfrey, but he's not really a threat from outside the lane.
Yeah.
He wants to do all of his work inside, getting into the paint, getting into that painted area. And also think their guards are really up and down, hot and cold, hit and miss. they just don't have maybe that good guard play that you really expect out of a team that advances in March, right? Like it's kind of it's a team that the whole is greater than the sum of its part, however that saying goes.
Well, I mean, I think everyone talks about every single March, every March Madness, guard play, guard play, guard play. Obviously, the best guard on the court is going to be Bennett Sturts. That's hands down.
Yes.
It's probably going to be that way in round 2 against Florida when we get there.
Yeah.
Florida's guards aren't as good as they were last year. And
they're
anyways,
decent.
yeah. But I did want to bring up, so this Nick Davidson is who stepped in kind of for Carter. He went off against North Carolina. He was like almost perfect in the game. But I didn't notice that he had a double-double. He had 11 rebounds and 17 points. He went 4 for 4 from 3. So that worries me a little bit on our side of things. Fulgaris kind of worries me if he's out there. I think you put probably Banks on him though. It's always interesting. It's always interesting to look at, kind of how Ben sets up the defensive assignments. I always am interested every game at the very beginning on how that works and who he's going to put where and why would that be the case? It's just a question because I mean, he's the smart, I don't know anything. Right. But he's the guy that's got the brains and figures it out every game. So,
yeah, I think that would be the big key for me. Davidson comes off the bench, which I think it kind of contributes to his success because he's better off the bench. Even with Welling being out, he's coming off the bench.
Okay.
It will all be dependent upon the matchups, but Iowa plays pretty good team defense. And I also know that, Clemson plays a style similar to Iowa, but I'm not sure how well versed they are in playing against that kind of a style.
Yeah.
Because I don't know that you really face that in the ACC much these days. I think Clemson's playing that style themselves this year.
Yeah.
And they obviously practice against it because they practice against each other, but I'm not sure if they've faced an opponent that is willing to play their same pace and play defense and rebound and grind it out. And I think that's kind of what some of Clemson's early success was. They surprised teams with their change of pace, their defense, their, willingness to grind games out. So that's why Iowa and Clemson are here in this spot, but I'm going to take, obviously, Iowa to advance, and I do think it'll be close. I think it'll be like a 6-point win, but ultimately having a guy like Sturts and McCollum, even though Brownell's been to the Final Four, because Clemson went on that miraculous run to the Final Four.
Yeah.
I ultimately think Iowa has the better point guard and the better coach, and that is a pretty big advantage in a March Madness setting.
I think the only thing that really worries me when I look back at Clemson's schedule and is these close wins. They had 4 games in a row in the middle of the season. That's Cincinnati, Syracuse, Pittsburgh, and SMU. All of those games were 5 points or less, and they did win all of those. They had a 2-point win against Stanford later in the season. They beat looks like Georgia Tech by 3 at the end of the year. They beat a good Louisville team, a 6-seeded Louisville team by 5 towards the end of the year. They did lose to North Carolina by 4 and Florida State by 5. So they do have some losses that are close, but most of them are wins. That kind of worries me a little bit because this team can win when it gets close. And I think we this season have kind of seen Iowa just fall just a tad short. And so I do get a little bit nervous about that. I'm actually really nervous about the game, but give me Iowa by 4. I like Bennett Sturts to get 27 points. I like 27 points out of the Star Guard, showing the nation what's up.
Yeah, I understand kind of your hesitancy here and then pulling out close wins. I'll give some caveats. Louisville's playing without Michael Brown, who's probably their best player.
Yeah.
So I don't want to discredit that win. And SMU, well, who knows how good they are. They're in a playing game right now.
They're getting beat by 9.
Currently getting beat by Miami of Ohio.
Yeah.
Who, great story, but I don't know if they're the best squad either.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't want to sit here and pick apart Clemson's resume and discredit them or anything like that. Maybe it sounds like I just did, I guess. But hopefully there aren't any Clemson fans listening to this podcast. But Iowa is going to win this first round game, and we're going to set a matchup with Florida unless Prairie View A&M does the unthinkable and beats the undefeated, beats the reigning champs in round 1.
Well, I don't know how much it helps us. It only makes me more nervous that, one, we opened up as a pick'em almost 1.5 point favorite, then 2.5 now. Odds may swing back to 1.5 before the game, it looks like. But yeah, it's a pretty much a toss up. 128.5 now is the over under. That doesn't worry me. Actually, that makes me feel better because when we play that slow pace type of game, normally have some success, like against Nebraska, 57-52 grinded out type of ball game. So I don't know. My head's all over the place. I'm looking at the brackets right now. 9 million people have taken Iowa. Only 6.4 million have taken Clemson. So a lot of people are on the Hawk side here on the 8-9 matchup. And then also, the trends, I'm sure you're aware of it, but since 2018, 9 seeds are 18-10. And I kind of talked about that last week and how I would love the 10 seed because it kind of gives us a chance at the 2 seed. But I think overall we got Florida, who is the worst 1 seed, and also the 9 seeds have better success. So at least 2 of them are going to win, more than likely, just based on the historical data in the last, 6-7 years. So I don't know. I get nervous, but I think we got a team. So
yeah, and had we been a 10 seed, we might have been the 10 seed in this region.
Yeah.
And that would have put us in a first-round game against St. Mary's, who, again, plays a similar style and pace to Iowa.
Yeah.
And then a second-round matchup with Houston, who plays a similar style and pace to Iowa, but with better athletes.
Yeah.
So that would have been okay in my book. But I think this worked out all right because of the 1 seeds, Florida probably the weakest one.
For sure.
For the reason that you mentioned, the guard play is okay, but obviously not the level of last year when Walter Clayton Jr. is doing his thing. And then Elijah Martin, Denzel Aberdeen off the bench, just coming in and giving you whatever. But they have 3 pretty big cogs of that championship squad back.
Yeah.
And then some. They have Thomas Haug, Alex Condon, Ruben Chinyelu. That's basically it starts and ends there when you're talking about Gators basketball. And they start 2-6-11, 1-6-9, and then Boogie Flandon and Xavier Lee kind of rounded out with 6-2, 6-3. And they hang their hat on just kind of forcing the ball inside and just destroying it down there. They offensive rebound the heck out of the ball, and especially Chinyelu, like that's his thing. Condon's good down there. But we have seen, and if they have one weakness, it's playing against teams that force them to play a slow pace. we've seen that in their losses, which are few.
Yeah.
They don't have too many losses. They have 7 losses this season. They're 27. Started off the year with a loss to Arizona. They lost to Duke by 1. They lost to UConn on a neutral floor. And Duke and UConn, believe it or not, play at a pretty slow pace. They lost on the road to Missouri. Again, a slow-paced team. They have a weird home loss to Auburn in January, where they lost by 9 at home to Auburn. And then they have that SEC tournament loss to Vandy, who's in this region as the 5 seed. But I'm not saying that Iowa is going to beat Florida, but the kind of teams that have made Florida uncomfortable are a team like Iowa in some regard, in their guard, that they play a slow pace. Duke and UConn plays at a slower pace with obviously higher level athletes, higher level players than what Iowa has, but Missouri doesn't. Missouri is pretty similar to Iowa.
Yeah.
Iowa's better than Auburn, who didn't make the tournament, So you can kind of frustrate Florida a little bit by forcing them to play a different tempo than fast, because while they are big, they do want to play at a faster pace.
I look back at the Michigan game. I mean, even Purdue as well, but the Michigan game for myself gives me hope that we can contend and compete with any team in the nation. The question is, can we win that game?
Yeah.
And it's going to take a lot. And also for me, my biggest question when we go up against teams like a Michigan, like a Purdue, is can we handle their bigs? We saw against Purdue, we kind of did in one game, and the other game we did not.
Yeah.
And then in the Michigan game, I mean, other than it's Mora, right? Their center.
Mara,
when he shoots one off the back, I mean, he banks one in. Other than that, I mean, he had a good game, but it wasn't like crazy good, or anything.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, it's hit or miss. We have to expect for them just to absolutely unload with their bigs down low, though. I mean, that's what they're going to do. But first comes Clemson. I think it's going to be a really good battle and a good test for us. And we have to come away with a win. I'm extremely nervous. I can't say it enough, but I just want Friday to get here. 5:50.
Yeah, so do I. Where are you watching? Where are you watching the?
I'll be home. Yeah, I'll be here at home with the little one. I got a bedtime at 7 o'clock for her, so don't get to do a whole lot. But might have a few people over. But it's gonna be a good game. I got my surround sound is all hooked up now with a subwoofer, and so we're gonna turn it up as loud as I possibly can before bedtime, and then I don't know. Oh, that's what I was going to bring up. Candace Parker is calling the game. I can't remember who else was calling it, but I didn't know she called men's games. I know she's on the desk a lot, but she'll be calling the game. So look out for that. I'm excited to hear what she sounds like. And
she's great. I've heard her before. She's awesome. I'm glad we didn't get stuck with like Barkley or something.
Did you watch last night? Did you see last night?
I watched last night. Look, I love Charles Barkley in a studio, but on the sideline calling a game, never.
It was crazy. There was no talk about the ball game for minutes on end. It was wild. It was wild.
Candace Parker is a pro. You can tell that she loves college basketball in all forms. So, give me Candace Parker 10 times out of 10, to be honest. And I wasn't sure who the rest of the crew was. It doesn't matter. Candace Parker makes it worth it, but you can tell me.
I'll look it up here real quick.
Adidas.
That was the big name that I noticed, but no, I couldn't. Let's see here if it shows us.
No Spiro Adidas, please. No Spiro Adidas.
Hold on a second. It says, how does that work? Color comment. Oh, that's for Tom McCarthy. I don't know that I've ever heard him. Tom McCarthy on the TNT broadcast.
We'll find out, dude. Who else? Candace Parker. Who else?
Candace Parker, Tom McCarthy, and then Dan Bonner on the sidelines.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
I've heard Dan Bonner before. It'll be all right, I suppose.
Yeah. I'm interested to hear that. But anyways, yeah, I'll be here. Are you have plans to go anywhere and watch? You're gonna watch from home?
Yeah, in these kinds of situations, I get way too nervous, and I'm usually way too vocal at my TV to be in a public space.
Yep.
To where people look at me like I'm a psychopath, which I might be, anyways.
No, you're not. You're just a diehard. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay, because that's how I am for football too. I really, really just don't like to go out of my house or be at someone's house that I feel very comfortable with, because a lot of cursing normally happens at the TV.
And like every year I get this for Iowa State football, where people want to have these big parties and invite me, and I've gone, but then I walk away from the party with everybody feeling like I'm insane.
Yeah.
And again, maybe I am, but I don't like to let that out for the whole world to see.
Yeah.
Usually I like to keep that deep down inside in my house. But and every year it's my tradition. I'm bunkered down, whether Iowa's playing or not. I'm bunkered down watching March Madness, because I just, more than being an Iowa fan, I actually do love college basketball. Like there's a chance that I've seen at least every team in this field play at least once, or I've seen a couple minutes of a half here and there for literally every team in the field. So, yes, I am one of those sickos who navigates ESPN Plus to watch small, low-level games.
So you're saying your bracket is going to be on point, 100% bracket?
Nope. That is how it goes. I invest all this time in watching college basketball, and then it doesn't matter. There's someone who doesn't know anything wins.
Yep.
All right. So I think you and I are predicting Iowa to beat Clemson. Do you want to take the leap and have Iowa beating Florida?
I don't think I can. I think we keep it closer than the experts believe. I think if you see a spread on Friday night or Saturday morning when that game comes out, I bet you it's probably 15-ish, 14-ish, maybe even.
Really?
I think so. I mean, I think it's
be more like 9.5 to 11.5.
I mean, what was the Michigan game?
Yeah, the Michigan game was like a 12.5.
12.5. I could see it being, on a short day rest. I bet it's probably closer to 14. But I mean, either way, we cover. Iowa covers. That's what I'm going to say. Iowa covers any game.
Yeah. All right. I'm not going to pick it either. I'm going to pick Florida, and I'm with you that it's going to be a lot closer than what I think people expect. I'm going to put a scare in them. Yeah. And again, I think we said it earlier. We will have the best guard on the floor in a matchup with Florida. And I think it would take a matchup with some other team. Maybe in this region, the only other team where I would say we don't have the guard advantage is Houston.
Yeah.
That would be the only team where I would say they have better guard play.
I agree.
And that's it.
Yeah. I think if you beat Florida, Sturts has another career high game.
Yeah.
And that's the only way we win. only way is Sturts has to shoot lights out. 12 of 15 from the field, 3 of 4 from 3, 4 of 5. Let's make it 4 threes. Or 7 threes. I don't know, but it's got to be a crazy game. It's got to be nuts.
Yeah. And Iowa, just in general as a team, has to shoot the 3 decently well in that game.
Yeah.
So you need someone like Cooper Koch, Fulgaris, Howard to
hit a couple.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to shoot. Yeah, we have to shoot. I mean, because we do shoot. I think a fair amount of threes, right? Like we got to be up there, kind of, right? In threes. I mean, not crazy.
Not crazy.
We're not super reliant like on some of those. I can't remember. I mean, it had to have been. I mean, it was quite a few years back, but I remember they were always looking at 3 numbers, the 3-point percentage, 3-point shots made on teams. And I followed this guy and tried to do, my bracket research that way. And he always talked about teams that are relying on the 3 never really make it too far. Like,
yeah, we're not super reliant on the 3. Yeah. According to Basketball Reference, which is a great website, 22.4 attempts per game, which is good for 196 in the country.
Okay. Yeah.
So we're not overly reliant on the 3.
Well, you shoot 22 threes. You got to make more than 11 for sure. I'd say you got to make 4. You got to make 14 threes. You got to get one of their bigs into foul trouble somehow, some way. I think that's something we've kind of struggled with a little bit this year is we really don't get bigs into too much foul trouble. We're the ones that are in foul trouble mostly.
Yeah. And I'm curious because things are called a little bit differently in March Madness.
Yeah.
I'm curious how that plays out for Iowa.
The first few games, there really hasn't been a whole lot. Texas NC State kind of got a little out of hand in the second half. It was more of a ref show there in the second half, and a low scoring matchup. They were playing pretty aggressive, so I think it doesn't matter on which crew you get, which I guess I don't even know. I don't think it tells you until the game starts on the crew. But
I can tell you that in both games, it probably won't be a Big Ten crew. And I'm hoping that it's not a Big Ten crew because I'm sick of watching Big Ten officiating. I think that works out in Iowa's advantage if it's not Big Ten officiating.
Referees for the game. I'm trying to find it here. I don't know if it's giving me any refs.
Oh, that's all right. I mean, we don't need to dwell on it too much, but
you don't want to get mad at them already before the game even starts.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go full Bill Blank. I'm quarter blank. I'm quarter blank. So yeah, I'll keep it there. Before we sign off for the night, we'll navigate a little bit outside of the Iowa Hawkeye waters and don't have to give me every pick. And I'm not going to, I swear, because we're in bracket pool together, I'm not going to go change and give myself the exact same Final Four. But tell me your Final Four. Tell me your national title game and who wins.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's really much of a surprise. I think most people are going to have it the same. I think very similar. I think everyone's going to have a very similar championship in some way, shape, or form. It's going to be a Duke or an Arizona in a lot of people's matchups, I think. I do have Duke versus Arizona. I do think they're the two best teams, hands down. I'm a chalky type of guy. I won it all last year. I think that's kind of the route to take, but I am going to take Iowa State to the Final Four, and I know that hurts your heart and it probably makes you sick inside. But I do think Iowa State is a pretty solid team if Momcilovic stays hot and continues to shoot like he does. I think they have a really good shot. I think Michigan can get upset. I just don't see where. I really wanted to take Illinois over Florida. I did just change my mind a little bit ago. and I do tend to flip flop. So this may not be the same when you look at it again. This is about the time where I start, questioning all my picks. My upsets are probably a little unrealistic, and I need to go back and double check those again. But I did take Troy over Nebraska. That's one of my big ones, but I just can't take Nebraska. They've never proven anything to me ever in their lives. So how can you take the Cornhuskers?
AJ, I swear we did not talk about who we were taking. I also have Duke, Arizona in the title game.
Okay. Yeah, I think a lot of people are, Barber. I really do.
Yeah, we did not talk.
Yeah.
I also have Iowa State in the Final Four.
Do you? Okay, yeah.
And I'm doing this because I know that by my picking them, they will not make it in any way, shape, or form.
Throw away your $10. Throw it away.
I'm throwing away my $10 bracket entry into your pool. And just knowing that I have put the jinx in that we will see Tennessee State winning outright on Friday.
Oh,
so
that's funny.
It's going to be great. Another 15 over 2. But
do you have Nebraska? Do you have Nebraska losing?
I do. I picked Troy. And I encourage you, Thomas Dowd, remember the name.
Okay.
That's a big man for the Troy Trojans. And also, I was listening to a podcast today that brought up a really good point. This Troy team was in the NCAA tournament last year with literally the same guys. And they had this same squad the year before. Like their core, their nucleus has been together for 3 years now. So that kind of continuity is what you need to kind of pull off an upset against a team like a Nebraska. And they are going to actually have the size to actually match up with Nebraska, because Nebraska isn't – they're not relying on bigs like they have Rink Mast.
Yeah,
they have
that's
Butte
it.
and Gel. They have Butte and Gel, and that's it. And so Troy played a lot of this year without Victor Valdez, and Valdez is back now. And so they run 6'8", 6'7" on the front line. And then
I saw they actually competed with a lot of Power 5 schools. So this year, I mean, they competed. I think they won a couple games.
They took USC to 3 overtimes. And lost by 1.
Yeah.
So 107-106.
I think they beat San Diego State, right?
They did. They did beat San Diego State in double overtime. That's wild. They played San Diego State and won in double overtime, and then went to 3 overtimes 2 days later against USC.
Oh my gosh.
They're
about beat up.
Yeah, they are something else. And they have a couple of guys, the Campbell brothers, who are those classic guards / shooters from these small teams who
I remember Nevada, right? Nevada, the Martin brothers.
Yeah,
Martin brothers
I don't think the Campbell brothers are quite like the Martin brothers. But I think there's a little bit of Jack Golke in at least one of them. So we've got Nebraska's got a little situation on their hands, I think.
I love it. I'm glad we're on it together. That makes me happy. That makes me so happy.
I'm gonna be now. Of course, all my upsets that I'm projecting are not gonna work out in my favor. Like I have South Florida, I have VCU, I am Texas over BYU. I have a few too many double-digit seeds winning in round 1.
Yeah,
but I always lean. I have Akron over Texas Tech. I am a little too heavy on my double-digit seeds. Santa Clara. Yeah, I've got like 6 double-digit seeds running in round 1.
Yeah.
So
but
it's
you
not
never
good.
know. You never know. It could be just one of those years. It's the thing. It's like, but I think with NIL, I do believe this, and obviously a lot of these analysts are talking about it, and it's like they will separate themselves. They will separate themselves. I'm like, I agree with that. I think that's why I go chalky kind of at least the last 2 years I've gone pretty chalky. But you can have a year. Why can't you? I mean, if a couple teams get hot at the right moment, it can happen. So,
Yeah.
I
think
I'm excited.
You're right, because these low major, mid major teams get their players rated every year, and we'll see it again this upcoming year. But I think Troy is one where they really legitimately have kept everybody together. Like
That's
they've, for 3 years, which is kind of unbelievable.
Yeah.
That some high major team hasn't come calling for literally any of their players.
The Troy Trojans out of Troy, Alabama.
Yeah. Might be the darlings of the NCAA tournament here.
If they beat Nebraska, they're always going to be my darling forever.
Yeah. You talk NIL, transfer portal's already kicking off. We already have people entering. We already have things going on.
That's crazy.
So it is absolutely insane, absolutely nuts with how that goes. But like the Iowa staff, I already know for a fact it's like tracking targets and have been already for like a month or two because everybody else is.
Yeah, well, we have to. We got to find that star. We got to find a star guard. That is our main key, but we won't talk about that at the moment. We got a big game against Clemson. Let's go Hawks. Come on, Hawks. Come on, Hawks.
All right, let's do it. Yeah, we'll worry about the offseason maybe a little next week, depending on what happens.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to mention too, the brackets. If you go to Three Beards Media and all the socials, you can find the brackets. We are doing both a men's and a women's bracket competition for great prizes. And so sign up through CBS. Free to enter CBS, correct? It's on the CBS
Sports. So download the CBS Sports app on your phone and make your picks on that and build your brackets out there. And make sure you get entered for free and get free stuff. So, well, maybe if your bracket's good enough. Yeah. But if you're like AJ and I, we'll be sharing the free stuff because we have the same thing basically.
Yeah.
We have 3 out of the 4 same Final Four. And knowing the other people who have entered in Three Beards, there's going to be a lot of Iowa State in the Final Four. So we'll see. But yeah, good call out, good shout out. Great show tonight. Thanks for doing this with me. And hopefully the Hawks can pull out some wins on both sides, the men's and the women's, and we can be talking Sweet 16 and beyond on next week's show for both. So I'll leave you with that. Have a great night. Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Talking football, talking hoops, every sport in between. IOWA, yeah, you know what I mean. From a Hawks eye view, see the whole state rise. With a heart so strong.